Good afternoon, Ceres Rose. Physics Shebang here. Gonna go ahead and do your VOD review. I know we had some talks about sort of what you're looking for. You're already really good for the amount of experience that you have. So I suspect I'm gonna have to be a bit nitpicky about just about everything that I pick out here. Um, but we're gonna kind of probably look more into like micro adjustments if I can find them on things that can be worked on, and not so much macro unless I see them. So we're probably not going to talk a whole lot about airship travel, probably not a lot about menuing, uh, you know, probably not a lot about routing, but I suppose we will see. So we're going to go ahead and get started, see what we got going on. All right, Maro, Gao, and Terra. Oh, I already missed it. I gotta look at Gao. Okay, that was Dance or Tools and Runic, was it? Dance and Runic. Okay. You're very fast. Tools and Runic, or Dance and Runic, and then Tools on Terra. So, obviously with a Gao start, we're gonna be looking for dried meat. I also come to Narsh early, even with a Terra start, just to check the shops, especially with a Gao start. And especially with an Umaro start, just to see if maybe we can take a peek at Umaro's check. So Dance and Runic is not great. Umaro is okay early, but he has no area effect, so I'd really be looking for a Flash. Flash and Earrings would be fantastic just to get the seeds started with some area effect magic. Exactly, that's why I do it. Yeah, Chainsaw, Flash. Yeah, there's that Flash. Awesome. So now we just get a couple Earrings and we're pretty much already ready to start going. Obviously, we're looking for some other stuff too. Oh, damn. All right, so Cyan is there. That makes him very enticing to do as early as possible, but the problem is we don't want to go too early because of Dragon. We want to make sure we can kill him. Wow. Why can't I have seeds like this? Wow. Sniper offering in Narsh. Earrings in Narsh. Flash and Chainsaw in Narsh. Incredible, incredible Narsh. Like, I feel like you would miss out on a whole lot of offense. Oh, interesting. I actually expected that you might go to Sealed Gate first. Just for the extra loot that's there. Just for the Esper and things like that. But I guess if you're already flying this way, why not? First try Gao. Nice. Your menuing is really good, by the way. Very concise. Not a lot of wasted movement. There's that Esper, so that definitely makes sense. Why you would come here first, why not? And off to Sealed Gate. I see your airship. You are fast turning with your shoulder buttons. I also see you are setting up your landing quickly with strafing. So yeah, like I said, we're probably not going to talk a lot about that, but airship piloting be looking pretty good. There is something in that in the oven up there. So for your future runs, make sure you don't forget this one. You just check that. There's also an item there. Watch you pick it up now that I said that. Atlas Armlet's nice. That'll help out with Yeti. If we could just find like a hero ring or another earring in one of the chests here, that would be nice. One thing I did see is you threw Yeti in the back row right in the beginning. So during Yeti starts, just leave him in the front row. He has the snow muffler, so there's no reason to back row him. He's going to take like 2 damage anyway. One thing though, I assume when you get in here, you're probably going to be doing the Thief. Now that you have an Esper, you get maximum benefit out of that. If that were the case, what I would recommend doing instead is go into the cave right next to where the switch is. You just do the left switch instead. Grab that chest and save before the switch, just in case it's nasty. And at that particular save point, before you do the grind fight, that's when you would do your equipping, your Espers, your equipping, and all that stuff. Relics. Get that all done then, and that also adds some extra treasure that you might have to equip before you do the grind fight. So I would not recommend going into the menu out here. Definitely going for speed, avoiding that first chest. I have honestly never seen anybody do that before. Go down the bottom like that. So that's interesting. I kind of wonder which way is faster. I kind of want to time it now. So this is where you would just go ahead and save and do your equipping, and it would save you an entire menu. As I tell other people, it's going to save you about 3 or 4 seconds per menu opening. Unfortunately, that Esper is absolute dog water. This is a very dangerous opening fight. So these guys have a tremendous amount of life, and they do a lot of area effect attacks. So this is one I probably would reset out of at level 3. It's a really, really good grind fight, but boy is it chunky. Yeah, I agree with that. Fortresses are just nasty. A lot of robots are really nasty early on because of all the area effect. And anything in Magitech, for the most part, or flying like sky bases, are all just disgusting to fight early on. Routing has all been really clean so far. Double empty treasure chest, not so much. Overall, a pretty middling Esper Mountain in terms of loot. Not awful, but nothing that's gonna like completely send the seed. Free Ice Rod's nice though. Can really help with some of the first checks. So my route usually with Terra is going to be World of Balance Narsh, straight into Sealed Gate, and then down to Albrook and Zen, and then I decide from there what I want to do. Am I going to do South Figaro? Am I going to do the basement of South Figaro? Or am I going to go straight into doing checks? I would say the only thing you're really in the market for right now is probably earrings. Hero Ring would be nice as well, just to get, you know, kicked off. That was a very nice Esper. I consider myself a fast reader, and you're faster. You are faster. 100%. This is one of those Magitech armors that actually are not hard to fight. Hell yeah, rodents. But I will say, that did have you in the menu again, but I guess you were planning on doing the, like, taking a grind fight right there, so that does make sense. Interesting. Skipping Albrook and Zen, so I'm assuming you probably feel like you have a decent amount of loot and don't need to shop much. And maybe don't think you can buy the Zen Thief yet. I maybe would have gone there first, because you definitely had enough to sell, most likely. I know you found some gold in a chest, so you probably would have been able to afford the Zen Thief, whatever it was, if you were planning on pushing scaling. Maybe you're trying to hold back. But in my opinion, that dance was pretty thick. Pretty good stuff. And then you have a flash, you have multiple earrings, you have a Yeti, which is always nice. Yeah, you have a Yeti with an Atlas armlet and a hyper wrist. You got a bunch of earrings. You got a good dance. You got flash. You have a really, really chunky Esper that you can learn some stuff off of. So at this point, I don't know that I would personally go to the basement if I was going for pure speed, because I'm pretty much ready to start doing checks. I'd be on the way to Zen Thief, most likely, to see if I can maybe get another Esper to pump up scaling some more. And head straight into Trench to get some levels. And the dream is you learn enough to learn that Esper, which is, again, ideal to kill the dragon up in Yeti's check. Ice Shield would be nice. Just start learning some level 2 spells. At least one would be nice, but I know money is a little bit in short supply. Now, this is definitely something that's extremely subjective to the person. A lot of people have been... A lot of the higher level players have been skipping out on basement if they can shake it. Obviously, you made the right choice today. Everybody else would have missed out on an experience egg. So, absolutely, it's fantastic. I do think experience egg on Terra is the better idea. She's the most likely to be able to equip a big chunky weapon later. And a hero ring. Alright, so basement's pretty stacked right up in the front. So coming here it worked out really well for you. We got a hero ring, experience egg, a free earring. Like, at least those front ones are really good. I am not personally very big into doing this particular thing that you're doing, which is grinding in here, unless I must grind somewhere else. But since you have Gao's check available to you, I would just be trying to do Gao's check and getting my levels at the same time I'm doing a check. As it stands here, it's kind of, you're taking grind fights right now, and then you're going to take grind fights later in Gao's check anyway. Also, shoutouts to octopuses not absorbing water. I very much expected that to get absorbed. So these grind fights are going to last, they're going to zap about a minute of your time. That may or may not be necessary, depending on what the trench is like. So I would rather go do trench first. If the fights suck and I have to go somewhere else, then I will. But I'd say probably at least 75-80% of the time, the trench is enough with offense like this that I can just get my levels there and go do something else. And if I feel like my levels aren't good enough, maybe I'll take my Moogle Charm off while running up to the dragon in World of Ruin Narsh afterwards. Something like that. And if I were to do this tactic, I maybe would have only taken one fight just to get off level 4 because that Magitech armor was such trash. Just to get a couple levels before I go do Trench, just for added safety, if this was the move I was going to do. Good usage in combat for using your strongest character more often than anybody else. Obviously, you can't control the Yeti, but you can control Terra. This is terrifying. Oh boy, yeah, now is where you should probably go ahead and equip that Moogle Charm again, so that you don't risk this fight again, because that's a good way to lose, what, 3 or 4 minutes at this point? More like 2 minutes, but still. Yeah, I agree. When something nasty like that shows up, you don't want to risk it anymore. Yeah, so I say in future seeds, you could probably stand if you want to get significantly faster. Just be a little more risky on a seed like this, because you have a nice chunky Yeti who can do a good amount of damage, and you have a flash with earrings on Terra, which is going to do a decent amount of damage, and you have really good dances. So you could probably stand to push some scaling up. You could stand to be a little more risky on your grind fights, just to take that shot that, you know, I'm not going to take grind fight somewhere else. I'm going to take it only while I'm going to a check I'm already doing. Or just straight to a grind check and just let the cards fall where they may. I agree with that. Getting Fire 2 on Terra is good. And then having Gao learn some level 3 spells is also really good. So you'll have 2 magic carries early on, which is great. And then as soon as Gao learns it, obviously you just swap that over to Terra. Does that do like 0 damage? Yeah, close enough. So there's your Ice 3. So at this point, after this next fight in the cave, you should switch that immediately to Terra and get her learning it. Ideally, Terra learns Fire 2, and you can go ahead and put that shield on Gao and just get them both having some elemental diversity. Honestly surprised they died. So on this one, this will come with experience, but I was like 99% certain that he had like 100 life left. Well, actually, that was on Gao. Never mind. Gao didn't have fight. I would have said use fight, but it's Gao. Never mind. Oh, you did not switch the Esper. So when you have something really, really thick like that, like a really good Esper with a good level 3 spell on it, you would like to go ahead and swap that out. Go ahead and get multiple people learning it, because that's going to help you carry yourself really far in the next checks, especially if you go to your Fire Dragon, or not your Fire Dragon, but your Ice Dragon spot in World of Ruin Arch, whenever that is, and you could potentially have 2 Ice 3 users. It's also, I believe, HP plus 100%. Gao is not really ever going to benefit from that in any way, shape, or form, because he has no fight commands. So I would much rather have that on Terra. Maybe she can use a VK later or an ammo weapon later, and that HP benefit sooner is better than an HP benefit later. On this one, so because there were multiple enemies, I would have just completely skipped on Gao. Just not waste the time putting in the command and waiting for him to dance, do all this nonsense, just to do an attack on one enemy, when you could just switch straight to Terra and let Gao stand there and have Terra flash him to death. Because chances are, at her level right now, they're all going to die. So it was an immediate loss of time by having Gao act, what is it, like 5 seconds? Probably longer than that, because Landslide is kind of long, and it missed to boot. So always be mindful of, like, what's my fastest action right this moment, and does a character have to act, or can they stand around and do nothing? In that case, they could stand around and do nothing. So one thing that I would recommend just right off the bat, I've seen you do it a few times, is you'll hop in the menu as soon as you get something cool. Start making it a very concerted effort to only do your equipping and your Esper checking and things like that when you're going to save. Or, alternatively, if you have to do Esper swaps, do it before you fight a dragon. So if you're getting ready to do a dragon, that's a good time to go ahead and do an Esper swap to make sure you're benefiting from the MP that you get from it. But hopping into it right now in the middle of Nakia it's not really saving you any time. It'll be better when you save before the next boss, or save before the next dragon, or whatever it is, whenever you heal and you're already in the menu. As it stands now, you're going to do your equipping, then you're going to go somewhere else, you're going to save, and that's an extra menu that you didn't need. Holy crap, you can go back there? Oh man, I had no idea. Oh, I'm gonna use that little path. I'm excited now. I learned something new today. Magus hat? Yeah. 2 Magus hats would be great. Terra and Gal. Magic power is what you're doing right now. So I would buy a whole fat stack of Revivifies. I'll do 5 or 10 minimum. Because they are just instant death on any trash mobs that you may run into. I like having them around. Like, if you run into something pretty strong, like a Dante or any other undead mobs that can die to, it's just instant death to them. Super free experience. So yeah, right there is where you should have done all of your equipping. Is right there at that save point. Get it all done right at that point. Save yourselves the 4-ish seconds that it would have taken to open and close the menu. And like, it seems silly to nitpick about 4 seconds, but every single time you do it, it's 4 seconds. That adds up to minutes later, and I know you were watching the Moogle Cup, but we had somebody win by a second. And then in the Chupon Championship recently, we had people, one team won by 20 seconds. So every second counts when you're going to be doing this in a racing capacity. Every little tiny optimization you can make is going to make you better in the long run. Just going to skip forward. Got a little downtime here. Should probably like be scanning. That would make more sense. Ah, there we go. Right about there. Cool. Just making sure. Okay, good. We should be fine, yeah. We have a fire rod we can consider chucking at him. So, dragons are definitely the time for you to break some rods. I know you picked up 1 free rod, I think it was fire, so just slap that down for about 2,000 damage. And I would definitely get Gao up here. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, getting Gao up there would have been fantastic. That would have given you your Ice 3. So the trick there was to use your rod. So having Terra do Ice 3 and then have Gao crack a rod, you might have killed him before Gao died, since rods do a lot of damage. Nice. So you have that experience egg on Terra, and now you have an Illumina for Terra. So I would have recommended early. I thought you actually did this, but I would have recommended teaching Ice 3 to Gao first. The main reason being is that he didn't really have a super reliable way to do damage, but Terra did. She had a drill and a lot of levels, and she had a flash with earrings. So just those 2 things is enough to let her do some stuff. In the meantime, let Gao get a job. Terra has, you know, a bit of a part-time job, but as soon as Gao has his stuff, you give it to Terra, and then you just have that diversity going on. So I'm going to give you a bit of a tip here. So, if we look in here, we have 2 choices. We have Ice 3, and we have Fire 2. Ultros is weak to fire, but he's not weak to ice. A weakness to a level 2 spell is equivalent to a level 3 spell that they're not weak to. So in this case, Fire 2 is a faster cast and the same damage as an Ice 3, not to mention less MP cost. So you can just slap a Fire 2 down and do the same amount of damage as Ice 3 in a faster amount of time for less MP. So keep that in mind. Now, Ice 3 on Chupon is definitely the move, because that would be a weakness to Ice, as Chupon is weak to Ice. But yeah, well, that's one of the things, like, you don't always have to use the strongest spell you have. If you know the weaknesses and that little comparison, you can make a little bit of a better choice based on the length of the spell animation and all that stuff. I like it. You got that dog in you. You say I'm not going to save. I know there's still Magimaster and all the statues and Doomgaze and all this other stuff out there, but you know what? We're just going to roll into it. Sarah says she ain't here to play. That being said, I agree with it. You had pretty much full resources. So, there's still a lot of bosses left on the table. It's unlikely you'll run into the nasty ones. Never impossible, but sometimes you just gotta take the risk. You got level 3 spells. Should be okay. And, well, here we are. Ice 3 is a fine choice. Gao's Dances might be a good choice, too. I don't think Wombat would work, but I think the only rod you have is a fire rod. All you have is a fire shield. So this is a spot where if you had been lucky enough to just pick up an ice shield for kicks. Oh, it is an ice rod. Oh, hell yeah. I thought it was a fire rod for whatever reason, but yeah, if you had picked up an ice shield for kicks in South Figaro, which I don't think anybody would really do it. It's too expensive that early in the game. Alright, so yeah, so fighting there probably wouldn't be the move. Poltergeist has extremely high physical defense, and with Terra being low on MP, she's not going to MP crit either. So I probably would have done a drill there, which pierces through physical defense. So you can do that to get through those physical defenses and have Gao go ahead and heal her up with some MP, either with an elixir or an ether, or even a tincture, so she can do Ice 3 the next round. But drill would have been the way to get through that defense. Snow Muffler putting in work for Yeti there. Snow Muffler does give half damage to or half fire damage. In case you didn't know that. It'll absorb ice. And it will half off fire, which is really, really handy. Seraphim might not be a bad idea. Or it doesn't matter because he's dead. That was done really well. The only optimization there, I would say, is just use Drill instead of Illumina. And from here, I would just go straight to Domadream. It's close. It's extremely good. Blitz with low magic power is not fun. Yeah, he's like on the list to be kicked out as soon as possible. You can also Warp Stone right there. If you don't think you have Warp Stones, actually. No, you don't. So, if you had Warp Stones, you can warp out a Yeti Cave. You don't have to actually fall down. It's just a few extra seconds that you can save in the future. I'm gonna skip, because I know you can route. Yes, you saved. So you were already in your menu earlier. So if you knew you were going to save, it's another instance where you just go ahead and do it in the World of Ruin when you're outside getting ready to save, instead of right after you got Cyan. This is definitely the appropriate choice. I'd probably go here and then go straight, just wrap around the map down to World of Ruin Zozo. Do that after this. I personally try to take my checks as much as possible in the world I'm already in, as long as they're good checks. Not even just good checks, but appropriate checks. If there's a bunch of really good checks in World of Balance that I can do in quick order, like I got Sabin recently or something, you know, I'll still do what I can do in the World of Ruin, but then I'm going to go to the World of Balance, I'm going to focus on his checks. Yeah, you have fire too, so that's good. Should do plenty of damage, no need to crack a shield on him. Yep, good job not using Cyan for anything. He can just enjoy those 2 absolutely mediocre spells he's about to learn. I probably would have considered, just in case, just teaching him Ice 3. Actually, I think he did. Did he just learn Ice 3? I thought you put that on. I thought you gave him a crappy Esper. I could be wrong. It can be hard to keep up with the exact equip order while you're going through it. Hold on, what did we get there? It's an Esper, right? Oh, Snow Muffler, that's right. So, I'm sure your routing is just fine. I'm not worried about routing, so we're just going to skip ahead. All looks fine to me. Yep. Clearly you know what you're doing, so... Now, if you had gotten your Esper... I want to check one quick thing, though. Did you save? Did you save up here? Okay, good. Always skip that save. It's so pointless. And then you want to save in a separate slot here as well. And this is where you would do your equipping of whatever Esper you got at the Stooges spot. Your menuing is very nice, by the way. Very nice. You are way above most in probably Potion at this point in terms of your menu efficiency and how well you operate within the menu. I think that was a good choice to try to get through it. Your ATBs just didn't work. Nothing you could have done about that. Shoutouts to Yeti doing his best with that sniper proc, though. Oh, I would have swung that Illumina. That would have tore him up too, but drill works. Illumina's just faster. Not a bad dream at all. I'm gonna say this every single time you do it, so that you get annoyed hearing me say it. But you don't have to be in your menu the second you get a shiny stone. Wait until you get out and you're gonna save. You're gonna be real tired of hearing me say that by the end of this video. Once you're like in Doma Dream, or not Doma Dream, but Zozo, if that's where you're headed. Okay, alright, well, this is an interesting choice. We'll see where you're headed. But yeah, when you go to save, that is when you put your Espers on. Now, what are we looking for? I'm interested in seeing what you're peeking at here. Certainly not that. Not peeking the relic shop. Interesting choice. We're looking for warp stones. That's what we're looking for. I see. We're looking for warp stones because Zozo. Zozo is not that bad of a run out for the fact that it's got 2 checks. So that's one that I would probably do even without warp stones. I would just do it anyway. It's probably around the amount of time you spent in South Figaro running around and checking shops. Would have been probably half of the run out of Zozo. Not a bad choice as an alternative. Just go ahead and hit up Welk, maybe check Kefka and Arsh while you're in the area. Oh yeah, nice. That's actually fantastic. So at this point in the game versus him, we know that he's got really low HP. So I would be considering at this point in the run switching Terra over to a physical build if she's not already. So a hero ring at the very least so she can be critting with that Illumina. She's had the experience egg on for a while. She's going to do plenty of damage. Yeah, he goes away immediately. Oh my. Wait, was that Gao? Hold on, what did you get rid of? Oh, Yeti. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, so with Terra, I would probably have her set up to a physical build, and I would have just swung the Illumina instead of casting a spell. Ice 3 is slow. We knew Welk had almost no life because he's he is the first boss in the entire game, so you can kill him very easily, and a swing of the Illumina is like 5, 6, 7 times faster, probably 10 times faster than casting a disgusting Ice 3 spell. Oh yeah. Well, now Cyan is going away. Got it. So we have a super magic heavy party and an Illumina, which is, I mean, shit, that's fine. I'm gonna skip. We'll see if you know the skip. If not, I'll provide you the link to see how it is. Yep. Ice 3. You do indeed know the skip. Alright, well, I don't have to provide that link. Oh, he doesn't need to do anything. Just swing that Illumina. Cyan has like 20 magic power. If you're going to cast a spell, either do Terra or do Gao, but 100% Terra should be swinging an Illumina at this point in the seed. She'd probably do the same amount of damage, and if there was a proc, then he dies instantly. Yeah, Cyan is a literal just rotten potato right now that needs to disappear from your party as soon as possible, right this very second. Nothing he can do, it matters. With his just absolute dog water MP or magic power, just not worth it. So, there was never anything he was going to do in this seed, to be honest with you. Unless it was just such a desperate situation that you needed a warm body to fill a spot. He would have just been relegated to an item bitch the whole time. I think you have 7 earrings now, so that was probably a lot overkill. You have 3 and 2, yeah, so you have way too many earrings. So that 11,000 could have been spent somewhere else. Basically anywhere else, I think. That offering would have been fine if someone else could use that sniper. Sniper offering is a build. I just don't know if anybody can. But taking the sniper off Yeti and seeing if you could afford that offering, boom, you got yourself a end-game Kefka build ready to go. We do need to do an unequip of party members in the airship to get that Esper back from Cyan. No, that's on Celes. Never mind, we're fine. So we are 6 and 6. If we can get an Esper here and do front 2 Magitech, we can have unlocks so fast. I think Terra casting an Ice 3 here just wins this fight. Here's something that we can talk about. So you're always gonna start on whoever starts first, you'll start at. But the way there's 2 buttons you can push to change characters. So if you hit the X button, it's gonna go to the next one in order. So if Gao was first, because everybody's ATB was full, so he would be first, her second, third, fourth. If you hit X, it'll go first to second to third to fourth. If you hit Y, you'll start here at first, and it'll go to the lowest one in the turn order. So it will go 1, 4, 3, 2. So you can save time by not using X to go through 3 transitions, and instead hit Y to do 1 transition. Blam, Ice 3, he dies. Another one of those optimizations. Ooh, not quite dead, but this next one will be fun. So knowing that now, probably the move would have been Ice 3 with Gao into an Illumina with Terra. And that would have killed him. I fully expected that Ice 3 on Terra with an Experience Egg would have killed him. He was probably very close. But also scaling is pretty high. You've had almost no dead checks this entire seed. And granted, you had 1 good boss, but you've also had several Ultroses, which are going to give you jack squat. So that's unfortunate, but we don't have warp stones, so that does make doing Magitech a little sketchy. We can go check Albrook, World of Balance, and there's an item shop right up front. That's a possibility. We could check Zen, which we haven't been to yet, for an Esper and possibly warp stones into Magitech. Or we could just do Magitech and run out, which is super obnoxious, but it's definitely doable for 2 potential Espers. All right, so we're not doing sniper offering strats. Got it. That was a very cheap Esper. Come on, warp stones. Dang. Thing is, I don't know if you've learned to warp from any of your Espers. It's possible warp is on there. I have a blind spot for warp on Espers. I just don't see it. I don't look for it. This is an interesting choice. I probably would have checked out Albrook instead because the item shop, well, that town in general was closer. Man, they are very elusive today. I'm also not quite sure what else you're looking for in the relic shop. We know where an offering is. We could maybe be looking for Genji or gauntlets. That's a possibility, so I guess we could say that that's fine. Checking that out while you're there, it's pretty close. Good, not a character. So if we're not gonna do that, then I suppose we can check here, and then we can go to South Figaro, check the basement, and maybe we get lucky and get an Esper there for our 9th. She should 1,000,000% be swinging that Illumina at this point. She's no longer a caster. I'd say most of the time with an Illumina or even a Ragnarok, you can get away with starting to use it with a decent fighting character at like level 25-ish. Atmo Weapon's going to be more like level 32 in order to get the maximum benefit out of it. But when it comes to Illumina, especially with a magic casting swinger like Ceres or Terra, just use it earlier. The main reason being you have potential procs to come out if you need it. But she's had, again, that experience egg is going to have that Illumina slapping. You put a hero ring on her and it will be hitting probably for like close to 5 grand right now, which is more than her spells are going to do. And if you get a proc, it's probably going to hit for 9s. I'm gonna guess that you might have forgotten about the basement, or you're coming here to keep up with scaling. Either way is fine. You can also come here and not get warp stones, but you can come here and do some grind fights in Jador just to keep up with scaling. Hopefully get your Esper, maybe kill a dragon before you go into KT. You have 14 checks, so unless things go catastrophically wrong, you're not going to be getting skipped today. I'm going to skip because it really doesn't matter much. Unless I see you go into your menu. Ew. This guy takes like 7 years to kill. More steroidites. Disgusting. I mean, look, how much experience is he giving you? He must be giving you a lot if he did it twice. 6,315. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, who cares? I'm gonna skip on ahead, see what we got at the boss. At this point in the seed, I would be working on elemental diversity as much as possible. So I would make sure that maybe Celes learns Bolt 3. Make sure Realm learns Ice 3. Realm clearly does not have earrings on yet. I can't imagine a world where she's doing that little damage. So I'm going to assume that she does not have earrings on just yet. So knowing that we are elementally powerful, we would definitely want to make sure our relics were in order at some point. At a save point, just to make sure our Realm and our Celes and our Gao are all really, really popping off. Probably have Celes with the Moogle Charm, because she's going to be most likely the lowest magic power. Unless Gao is lower, in which case go ahead and have Gao be it. That was interesting. I didn't know you could run to the left. But there's your final Kefka. Genji or Gauntlet, maybe? Nope. I've got to look at your menus to confirm my suspicions. Next time you go in, I got to see if Realm is just sitting there with no relics. Cat Hood would be nice. It is one of the best helmets in the game. See, there's Warp. Warp was just chilling there in that Esper. Of course. To the dragon. We are not equipping more Espers before the dragon. That is an interesting choice. We do have Bolt 3 that we need to teach to Celes, and we have Ice 3 we need to teach to Realm. So we would definitely want to make sure they're learning it to get maximum usage out of this dragon. I don't know if you have Doom, but having multiple with Bolt 3 equals you have the ability to kill tools faster. Multiple with Ice 3, you have the ability to kill Tiger Face faster. So even Fire 2, we would want to teach to multiple people to help kill Head a little faster in Tier 1. I also could have very well just missed an Esper swap because I was skipping, and if that's the case, then I will amend my comments. I'm not sure if you know, but Storm Dragon is actually weak to Bolt. I know it's the only spell that you had on Realm, and Ice 3 was the only one you had in Ceres, but he is weak to Bolt, and he'll absorb wind. Gao learned Ultima. Yeah, you didn't really switch your Espers around to get the maximum benefit out of that. It 100% would have been a good idea to do so. Well, there's your instant death. Yeah, I just think you didn't do any, like, unequip on the airship things to get stuff off of Cyan. I still don't think you have relics on Realm yet. Hoping to see your relic menu soon. But when I see Realm hitting for just over 1,000, that has me worried. Shit, I didn't pay attention. Hold up, what are we doing? Okay, we're going full right. Full right side strats. I'm gonna skip. I gotta see your menu. Okay, so now you're equipping them. So, at this point in the game, there is definitely no reason to go all the way down here for looting. There's very little reason at this point in the seed that you should be opening any treasure chests that are not directly in front of your face. So you have 63 chests. You got an Illumina with Hero Ring and an earring if you need it. You got multiple earrings. All right, hold up. Let me look at that again. So your levels are a little low, but not obscenely so. So there definitely was an option if you had your Espers on the appropriate characters to teach them multiple spells and things like that. I think it's 100% possible you could have ran this tower a single time. If you're, we're going to see if you're going to do a single run anyway. Maybe you're just killing the Inferno spot and then killing the dragon and warping out. But that would probably be a pretty good idea because it's magic, 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 and then slapping. So, yeah. We'll see how you go about it, but your levels are pretty okay. You just would have rather had these three have more elemental variety if possible. And, I mean, we have Gao with Ultima, and I want to say you have a gold hairpin somewhere. So he could probably cast 2 Ultimas and carry a lane by himself. Terra should also be able to carry a lane by herself, unless you run into Goddess, which is always a risk. Goddess would be a problem, Magic Master would be a problem, Doomgaze would be a problem because of just Doom. So there's still some pretty nasty bosses, but yeah, I would say just you shouldn't be looting at this point. You have what, like a 0.2% chance of any one of these chests being anything useful at all that you're going to need at this point in the seed. You should definitely have your whole plan set up and have everything you need before you set foot in here, if possible, and I think you have that. I don't think you switched Espers, so we're still kind of... We're killing dragons for minimal benefit. It's not going to be enough to teach Celes Ultima, but we're just not spreading those level 3 spells out where we want them to be. Okay, who learned Quick? Who was that? Realm... Wait. God, I can't read it that fast. It's too early. Realm learned Quick. Okay. See, the problem is Realm only knows one spell. It's just Bolt. So she can Quick Bolt, but that's probably not a very good usage of time. And we do have Warp somewhere, if you wanted to warp out of here. Looks like we're going to wait for the hook. I recommend waiting for the right hook. It comes from the right first. So if you just go to the right... Oh, wait, you can't. You can't. But you did learn warp. I think Terra has warp. You would have learned it on the Opera House Dragon. You switched her over to an Ice 3 Warp Esper. You just didn't notice it, which neither would I have. So, it's easy on the outside looking in. But yeah, it starts on the right lane, then goes to the middle, then goes to the left. So if you can't do the right, you just need to sit in the middle and wait. But you're resetting it every time you switch. A hard lesson to learn, I see. Yeah, so it's heading to the right now, and now it's going to come over here to the left. Oh, no. Oh, God, it's painful. This hurts. I'm sure you're, like, screaming at your camera at this point. We're going to skip ahead. Sort of put you out of your misery here. There we go. I'm still desperately wanting to see your relics. I haven't seen you touch your relics in like 20 minutes. Interesting choice. I know Gao knows Ultima. I think he would be way better equipped to solo a lane than Ceres will ever be, because she only knows one spell. I don't think she's learned Ultima. She might have, but I don't think she did. And Gao might be the only one who can like solo just about anything that comes his way. That is a scary lineup that you put up there. Your magic casters are kind of subpar. Except for Gao. So I'm a little spooked. Interested to see what you run into here. Can I see relics? Oh, you're not going to let me see relics. Right. I'm going to assume you know how to run this tower, so we're just going to let you do that. Again, chests are probably not worth it. You might get lucky one in every 20 or 30 seeds and find like a thing that maybe is useful, but it's so unlikely it's going to waste you time way more often than not. Okay. Hallelujah. Okay, so he has earrings. Hold on, what does she have? Hero and... Okay, double earrings. Hero XP. Okay, they're both great. Funny enough, I probably... Oh. Okay, so she has an earring. That's good. I still don't get to see Realm. I am not 100% sure I agree with that because of Ultima. But I don't know if you have a gold hairpin or not, so I'm gonna actually look. Yeah, you do. So gold hairpin is definitely an option on him. You could do earrings, gold hairpin, and then maybe just do Terra sitting around and enjoying the fireworks. Like, how much MP does he have? He's got 395. It's normally a 255 magic power cast, so 125-ish. So he could cast it, what, 3 times? 3 Ultimas? I think that would be my move in this case. 3 Ultimas with Gao. And Terra would still be hitting hard because of her levels with that experience egg. So even without the hero ring, she'd be doing fine. I'm gonna keep skipping, keep skipping, keep skipping, keep skipping. I just want to see Realms Relics. It's all I want in my life. Well, this fight doesn't matter. Unless he evil toots you. Yep, she's not learning quick. I don't think it matters anyway, to be honest. It would be nice to have one person with it. Strictly so you could potentially kill Sleep without getting, you know, Meteor to death. Senor Behemoth, probably perfectly fine. So again, Ultima would be fantastic here. This should kill him. You also have Doom. So if you remember you have Doom, you can just kill him right now. You did not remember. Okay, so you could have used Doom here and taken him out. You might have killed him. Obviously, Doom is not 100% hit rate, but it definitely could have instant killed him and saved you, you know, 10, 15 seconds. Probably more than that because Fire 2 is your filler here. Okay. So, what you're doing here is you're doing a Hero Atlas. Let me go over what a Hero Ring does. So, Hero is a combination of an Atlas armlet and an earring. That's literally what it does. So, it's going to give you 25% extra physical damage, and it's going to give you the benefit of an earring to your magic power. Atlas armlets do not stack. So, having a Hero Ring and an Atlas armlet is the equivalent of 2 Atlas armlets, is the equivalent to 1 Atlas armlet. So, it's a wasted relic slot. What I would be thinking of here is either popping on a hyper wrist to increase your vigor or popping on some earrings to boost up your procs. But she's hitting like a truck with Pearl. So probably in this case, I would go with hyper. That way you are more vigor, hitting harder, and you already have your hero ring buffing up a little bit of your magic power because of the earring benefit, getting your 25% bonus and getting vigor on top of it. So that's what I would do. But a hero Atlas, unfortunately, it's the same as you only having one relic equipped. We have no calmness protection but Phantom. And we have no way to break the damage cap. So I don't think Phantom is super viable. It can be done, but it's very, very finicky. This is kind of scary for Ceres. She doesn't have a lot going on. Thank God we don't have Realm here. If Realm was here, you would have had to just leave. Realm only had Thunder, like Bolt 2. This is definitely spooky. I don't know if I would have reset out of it. I might have. We do have a shield we could use. We might need to pull another shield off of somebody. Ah, we're going to... I'm not sure about this one either because of Pearl procs, but it's a thing. We could do it. We're just kind of begging for no procs is what we're doing. Oh, you know what? I actually really like what you did here. I am now seeing what your plan was for. Your plan was for not to swing the Illumina. Your plan was to boost your magic with the Illumina, and then boost it with a Magus hat and a white dress, which... Round of applause. Standing ovation. I was not on your same wavelength, and I think that is fantastic. I love everything about that. I don't know if Cyan is mantra level yet, but RLRLXYA equals a nice mantra cast to keep Celes nice and healthy if you needed it. Dude, Love it. Beautiful. And she learned Ultima, so that gives her a little something to do. That's perfectly fine. He absorbs ice, so you're... Whatever. Whatever you got, you'd be just fine. Yeti probably eats it here. Oh no, he's doing alright. We're gonna need about 3 of these, I think. Good net targeting. That would have been super annoying. Fire 2 actually works here, since it's not Inferno, and it very well might kill him. Not quite. Very close, though. Very close, not quite. Oh, that hurts so bad. I know that hurts, like, way too much, but sometimes you just gotta... Sometimes a quick sack of a shield is what you need, you know? You had very little ways to heal your MP. You have a Yeti who's stopped, so even if it wasn't a Yeti, you still would have had issues. Realm really doesn't feel like she's hitting very hard, though, for a Realm. I'm still skeptical she has earrings on. I knew it! I knew it! I knew she had no relics on. So, yes, Realm 100% should have had that on the whole game. She does have tremendous magic power start to finish, so yeah. I knew she seemed too squishy and too weak for the old murder child. Honestly, I don't even think Terra needs an Aegis shield. She has an Illumina. So Illumina's already gonna completely buff her up. I might have put it on someone else who's a little squishier, because Illumina's like one of the best defensive items in the game, so But it's fine. She's also your main or your main offense for the entire seed. So let's see how we do here. How do you do this normally? That's fair. No Amaro, love it. Alright, head's weak to fire, long arm can be instant deathed and broken, and short arm punches things. Let's see how you handle it. Cool. So, let's do a real quick thing, and that's that order of operations and who should do what. Multiple people have Doom, right? Terra is your main offense because of her levels, her Illumina, and all that stuff. So we should have her... The only thing that she should be having to do this entire fight is swing that Illumina until the boss dies. That's it. We should definitely have somebody else doing the utility spells. Yeah, I don't know about even using Ultima here because of the MP cost. I would consider using it on tier 2. And just do fire 2s and ice 3s and stuff on the head. Just finish this one off that way, and then blast those Ultimas tier 2 on 4 targets instead of 2 targets. So with a Hyper Risk, you'd be doing right around 7,500. And clearly we didn't need an earring, so that would have been probably the move. Hyper Risk to buff that up a little more. Now this part, Terra should just be able to withstand whatever punches happen. So you could pretty much just like wait for her to go and just single attack with her until you beat him. Realm at this point could also just be a heal bot. So look at Terra's ATB. In the time it takes for this ice to go off, she could be swinging that Illumina in the same amount of time. It worked out there, but in general, by the time Gao started casting, did his animation, dropped the ice 3, the animation finished, and he stepped back, Terra was ready to swing the Illumina. So you could have just waited for Terra and swung for 7,000 as opposed to Gao's, like, what was it, a 2,000 ice 3? Tiger's weak to ice, so you got plenty of ice. Hit stuff and can be poison. He doesn't like poison. We got tools in the middle, which you're gonna doom, which is fantastic. But she's weak to bolt in the event you can't. I know you have Siren, so we need to be using Siren here. Looks like you did that. Fantastic. This is where we drop all the Ultimas. Every Ultima. We don't do Ice 3, we do Ultima. Who cares? Ultima. At this point, we just want all the stat getting damage at the same time. We do like 20, 25,000 damage per Ultima with 4 targets up. But I see you don't have a whole lot of ways to heal your MP, so that might be what you're doing. You're just like, nah, you know, let's just do level 3 spells. If nobody else should be doing Ultima, Gao should be doing Ultima because he has a hairpin on. Pretty much at this point, yeah, I think Ultima definitely should have been cast earlier. You would get maximum damage hitting 3 targets instead of 2. So you would have done 15,000 damage, but that Ultima was worth 10,000 that time. That should be 10 hits, I think. Very close. Definitely 10 hits now, though. Yeah, at this point, I would just make this the Terra party. Because again, she's just faster than everybody else's ATB compared to the casting time it takes to do anything with your casters right now. Infinitely, not infinitely, but, you know, like, equal amount of time for much more damage just having Terra swing over and over. Haste would have been sort of your friend here. Having Terra hasted up so that she can really just keep swinging over and over and over and be like a one-man wrecking crew. Alright. Girl can't have elemental damage. All we have really is an Illumina, so we just gotta hope that works. We have Drill as well. We have Ultima, so yeah, we could use Ultima. I don't hate that. So I'm curious how you're going to handle this one. She should be able to kill Girl without a proc. So that was about 6,000 on sleep. We're trying to get him to about 28. It's about 12,000. All right, 17, probably closer to 18,000. $22. Sorry, 23 on that one. This will be about 24.5. Oh, it's not Phantom O'Clock yet. Oh no, what are we doing? What are we doing? I think we're gonna get, we're gonna catch a Meteo. So 24.5. We need to do 15,000 damage. I don't think Realm has it. She could bolt 3, crack a shield, and maybe get there, but it'll be really close. But if you just bolt 3, I don't think you have a single hope of doing it. So, yeah, no shields. I know there's one on somebody, though. Oh, yeah, I think we're about to get Meteo'd down. We're not going to die, but... Okay, we'll train, but there goes Phantom. So now we're kind of in the... We're in the danger zone now. Remedy is unimportant here. So Illumina has 100% hit rate. So with 100% hit rate, you don't have to worry about blindness. Alright. So, what would I have done different there? I saw what you were trying to do. You had Quick on Realm. I would have definitely maybe had Gao throw out another Bolt 3 to get him closer to 26, 27,000. Get him closer so that it's a safer bet that you're going to be able to kill him. Pull a shield off whoever has it. I think you have one character with a shield. Pull that shield off. Then you can go ahead and switch to Realm. The problem is Realm was not ever going to be vanished because just casting Quick breaks your vanish. But that's a necessary sacrifice. Terra is your main damage. It's fine. So you would get him up to about 26, 27,000. Still nice and safe. Unequip that shield from somebody. Put your Quick on Realm. Do a Bolt 3, break a shield, and you're through it guaranteed. I think you got started on it a little bit soon, and I know you were looking for a shield and then realized it was probably on Ceres, who I think was not available to take a shield off of. But yeah, I saw what you were doing there. It was definitely a good attempt. Just have to be more precise on the... either on his ATB or on the counting that you do to make that work. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Terra party with, you know, backup artist Gao here doing Ultima. But here's something that you should keep in mind, right? We didn't need that remedy. I think. It really depends on Cyan's level. We could have mantra'd if he has it, R1 or RLRLXYA to get that to work. And what that does is it takes his maximum or his current HP and it splits it among all 4 party members. But it also removes all status ailments, so keep that in mind. Oh, it's a little scary. At least we have a remedy. But we should be fine. He's really... what we don't want is an area effect spellcast. As long as we don't get an area effect spellcast, we're fine. Oh man, we had haste 2 this entire time? I would have 100% had that up the whole fight. Yeah, who cares? So the thing is, I don't know that you have the, like, healing capabilities to survive a Goner right now. We might be able to have Realm or Gao survive, but it's going to be really close. Ideally, we just kill him, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Yeah, a little short. I don't think Realm survives this. Or if she gets this, oh no. I don't know that she survives this. She's probably going to die. Oh shit, never mind. She's got some serious... She must have a force shield or something on. Force armor. She's got something really eating up magic attacks, so she's very fine. I think he's dead. Yep. GG. Alright. So... I know that, like... Yeah. We're gonna... Let me just turn that off so you don't have to look at my suggested shit. So, downside, big downside. Not knowing about the cranes cost you your first sub 80. So that definitely feels bad. I'm sure you were super annoyed that that's what caused it to some degree, right? Let me go. Let's see. What are some things where you could have probably saved a bunch of time? Definitely choosing when to use your menus. You probably lost 1 or 2 minutes just opening menus, probably close to a minute just opening menus randomly throughout the seed, as opposed to having a more focused and concerted effort to only open up your menu when you needed to open your menu, like to save. Not equipping your stones as soon as you get them, not equipping your big weapons or relics until you need them, unless there's a specific reason to do so, like you're about to fight a dragon. I think your early game was perfectly fine, but could have been optimized by just skipping out of grinding in the basement. And you already had a grind check available, so just like take a shot at that, right? Just go see if you can get some levels out of that trench, and then make a decision from there. I think your routing choices were fantastic. So I thought it was really interesting that you didn't just go straight to Sealed Gate, but you went ahead and took a gamble on that Esper first, so that you could get maximum benefit from your grind fight in Sealed Gate, even if it didn't work. It's fine. I liked the idea behind it. I suppose the optimal route would have been not to do that at all and just go straight to Sealed Gate, maybe do Albrook and Zen, get your Esper from Zen instead. And then when you're ready to do the Velt, you can just do everything at the same time. You just kind of land next to the trench. You can get your Esper. Well, you can do your Gao check, and then you can go ahead and do your trench right at the same time, so you're not flying around and landing and taking off over and over too many times. So that might have been optimal, but I liked the way you did, and I don't think that was a bad choice at all. Basement worked out fantastically with that experience egg, but I think with the offense, I would not have done it early, and I would have found that experience egg later with Ceres when I got her. I'd say the main thing that I saw as something you could do a lot more optimized is probably twofold, and it's using your strongest characters and only your strongest characters when available, instead of doing super weak things with characters that barely matter. Terra was definitely a wrecking crew by herself, and just letting her kind of do her thing more often than not was better than having someone swing for like 1,000 damage on Fire 2 or whatever. I think you were delayed in switching her over to an actual Illumina build instead of just casting level 3 spells. Level 3 spells are slow, and the second you can get into using your big weapons is going to save you time in the long run. Other than that, you had a realm around, and she was casting level 3 spells, but she had no earrings on. So she was hitting just like a wet paper towel. So that made her pretty useless, and every time that she did any attacks was literally a time loss. There was no reason she should have acted while not having any kind of relics on. And you didn't focus very hard on making sure you had some degree of elemental diversity. So, if you're going to fight multiple dragons, just take a moment and switch over your espers real quick. Give everybody 2 level 3 spells, and that's fine. Then they can cover their elements as much as possible, which will save you time in the long run. Let's see, what other thing did we have? Really, that's about it for things that could really be worked on to improve your times. It was mostly just combat efficiency and making sure that your builds are as optimal as they could possibly be at any given time. So, when you're ready to switch over to that Illumina build, put that hero ring on and the earrings and start swinging that Illumina. When you have level 3 spells and you're ready to start swinging them, make sure you have your earrings and make maximum use of elemental weaknesses and choosing when you use magic or when you just swing with Terra. And that's something that I saw in Final Kefka was a lot of the time you were using Gao to just throw like a level 2 spell for 2,000 or a level 3 spell like Ice 3 for 2,000 damage, when at the same time, by the time he was done casting, Terra could have just swung her Illumina for 6,000 plus a potential proc. So you look at almost 16,000 damage for the same amount of ATB cost and time swinging as that one Ice 3 cast would have been. The optimization for using a Ultima would have been better spent just using it on tier 2 and then tier 3. Doing it earlier in tier 2 and just getting the maximum damage so you're hitting all 3 targets, and just have Realm do her Ice 3 to kind of pick up the damage on Tiger, and you can supplement that with your Illumina. So really it's, the offense wasn't bad or anything. It's just the order and focusing on your carry. I always call it maximizing your carry. Sometimes during Kefka, only 2 characters need to do anything for the whole fight. You just pick your 2 amazing characters and everybody else is support. Sometimes you're lucky and get 3, and that works as well. But your menuing is extremely fast as a whole, very fast. Clearly your reading level is fantastic because you read way faster than I do, and I consider myself a speed reader. Couldn't tell exactly what you were doing a lot of the time. Your routing is fantastic, so I liked all your routing choices. Your pathing while running around is also fantastic. I think you have a good eye for what your builds should be. They just need to be tweaked a little bit to when you transition to a certain build and making sure they're fully equipped to do their maximum damage. But I think your eye for building is correct. You put the experience egg on Terra really early. You made sure that we had level 3 magic being learned as soon as possible. So you put shields around so that they were learning level 2 spells. I think your overall view of what is a good choice and what's not, what character's good, who to get rid of, who not to get rid of, is very sound. So I think shoutouts with that. You're definitely way ahead of most tonic players. You're definitely at the top of your pack. I'd say you would generally give potion players a run for their money, and you will give elixir players a run for their money on certain seeds. And once you sort of optimize when you menu and how you optimize your offense throughout the seed, you're going to be an absolute threat to just about anybody in Worlds Collide. So you are way, way, way ahead of the competition when it comes to just general finesse. And I look forward to seeing how good you're going to get in the future. So that's going to do it for me. If you have any questions about what I went over in the VOD review, you know how to get a hold of me. I will also work on typing up a bit of a Word document that you can look at later. But otherwise, well done. You're going to have a sub 80 any day now. I look forward to seeing it, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Take it easy.